On the USTEC 100, it was a very profitable previous week for us on this instrument. So let's see if we can replicate the scenario we had last week on this one this week. So going into the higher time frame, so we want to see how things are looking like on the 4 hours time frame. So on the 4 hours time frame, this was what I was able to spot here while trying to decipher how to manage this, manage a trade on the US Tech 100. So I went to as far back as the month of April to try and see how the market has been playing out, unfolding on this chart. And of course, we all know that since the beginning of the year, the US Tech 100 has been very bullish. And if we look at what has been going on here since the month of April, we can see price, of course, has been bullish. And in fact, I have a couple of trend lines here, which of course has been supporting this uptrend continuation. Now, the second one is right here, which has been supporting this momentum since, when was that? Since the month of May of this year. Now, in addition to this ascending trend line, we have a couple of key levels. So we had a key level at the 15,300, which was broken finally during the upper week. Remember, this level was a very strong selling niche at some point since the month of June. We saw selling niche here. We saw selling niche here before we saw the breakout of the structure happen here. Now, the breakout of this structure led price into a new high at the 15,950, after which we have seen selling pressure resume, which I'm of the opinion that this is probably going to be a retracement of that impulsive move. Now, the question here is how far this retracement phase is going to go. Remember, this structure was, let me delete this one. I don't want our chart to be too clumsy. So remember, we had the breakout of this 15,300 during the upper trading week. And from a technical standpoint, when price breaks out of a key structure such as this, we expect it to come back and retest that level to incite another trend continuation to the upside. Now, we don't know how far this retracement phase that has been going on since last week will go. And in fact, we have a trend line here. And of course, we have this 15,300 level, which was broken. And of course, we have the ascending major trend line here, which is a thick blue line on your screen. So how far will this retracement phase go is what we really do not know at this point. Will it get into this trend line or the 15,300 or this major ascending trend line before a bullish momentum happens? Now, to have a better perspective into what is going on here, we will need to scale down into the lower time frame where we want to see how market participant has been reacting to the zone around the 15,450 to determine if we are going to be seeing selling pressure or probably a bearish continuation pattern that could likely push price to any of these trend lines, key level at the 15,300 or this one before another wave of bullish momentum happens. And of course, if that happens, we have privilege of joining about a minimum of 80 pips to 160 and a maximum of about 300 pips before another bullish momentum happens. But if we start seeing reversal patterns here like a double bottom structure, then we'll have no other choice than to join a trend continuation from that area, as of course price still remains above our ascending trend line we identified earlier. So let's scale down into the lower time frame. So right here on the 1 hour time frame, this was what I was able to come up with while trying to dissect the current 1 hour time frame. Now, if you look at the structure closely, you will see that since the beginning of this week, price action has been very indecisive in this market. As you will see, price was confined within the 15,450, sorry, and the 15,410 level to emphasize the level of indecision at this point. And one thing about this structure is that you will see that within this whole range we have here, if we go to what happened on Thursday and Friday of last week trading session, we will see that this is more of a buyer's territory, as we saw that as soon as selling pressure got into that area, we saw our buyers negated all sellers' attempt to break through that structure. The same thing also happened on Friday, as you will see here, making me believe that we are within a buyer's territory as long as price action remains around that zone between the 15,450 and the 15,410. So what this simply means is that if we are going to be considering selling the USTEC 100, we definitely want to see price action slice through the support line at the 15,410 level to consider selling the USTEC 100. Now remember that we have this ascending trend line, which of course is reflecting on our 1 hour time frame. So I will try to highlight it so that we can see it clearly. So we have the ascending trend line here. So if price breaks down this ascending trend line, then we would be getting ready to join a bearish move. So that means we can actually capture a bearish move even before the breakdown of the support line happens. Now, for us to capture this bearish move, we want to see price action break down the ascending trend line first of all. And remember that we are not going to be getting too excited when the breakdown happens, as we would need a confirmation to give us a leverage to join the bearish move. So in order to identify the confirmation, we would need to scale down into our lower time frame, such as the 5, 10, or 50 minutes time frame, to look out for retest of the trend line followed by continued selling pressure. This is signs that buyers are unable to climb back above the ascending trend line. Then we could join the bearish move to the downside and of course have a sell stop order below the 15,410 to capitalize on that bearish move. So this is the only condition we are going to be seeing from this juncture in the market that will make us consider selling the USTEC 100. Now, with that being said here, and for the fact that price still remains above the ascending trend line, we are of course we're going to remain bullish in this particular market. And personally, I had the buy position triggered as soon as price action broke out of the 15,450, which is currently running at break even at this point in time. Let's see how the market is going to play out. For the sell stop on the buy position, we want to be having it at the support line here, which will be dovetailing to between 35 to 40 pips as a stop loss for any bullish momentum at this particular point in time. So here we are, it's looking very bullish as long as price remains above this ascending trend line. So we remain bullish, and the only thing that will make us want to sell is for price to break down this trend line, retest of structure before we can consider selling the USTEC 100. Then another thing I want us to see here is the highest point so far this week, which is situated at the 15,480, which could also be a platform for us to maximize the potential of this bullish move. So you want to be marking this level out on your chart, 15,480 level. So if price action does break out to retest that level, we also want to be adding more buy position to our existing trade. So let's hold on to this bullish bias as long as price remains above that ascending trend line. So these are my views here on the USTEC 100 for today. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comment section.